Trump's speech made a huge impact on the crypto community yesterday or a couple hours ago. We did see a massive spike down, and then, wow, there's a lot of leverage people that are just getting destroyed. But I'm gonna cover what I don't know if anybody's covering this, about what Trump has actually said. I'm gonna cover a couple different people, a couple of opinions on this, but I'm gonna share you my, not just opinion, but some facts backing this. All right, so here's the recap. He says, on day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman. First off, who owns the SEC? Who do I keep saying owns the SEC? BlackRock owns the SEC. Okay, so that's why Gary Gensler had to pass the SEC had to pass the spot Bitcoin ETF. It's because BlackRock is in the game now. And it's not just a coincidence that all of a sudden Trump is considering picking Larry Fink as Treasury Secretary. I don't know if many people even talk about that, but this is facts. He's actually considering, considering Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, but Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, he is considering Treasury Secretary, which is a very, very, very powerful position. And to those of you who think that Larry Fink is a Republican or whatever, or Democrat or whatever he is, or Trump's guy, that's not true. He wanted to be Treasury Secretary under Clinton, and he wanted to be Treasury Secretary under Obama. He doesn't care which side. He understands the game. It's a game, guys. And so he understands that. He just wants to be Treasury Secretary because it's got a lot of power behind that. Okay, moving on. He wants to create a US government strategic national Bitcoin stockpile if selected. Yeah, so that's what he wants to do. Cool. You know what? He's going to get a lot of Bitcoin off the market, and he says he's going to keep it forever, or at least till he gets out, so 4 years from now. And for those of you who are excited that he's going to potentially have a stockpile of Bitcoin to save you guys from calamity, financial calamity, just realize that you can hold your own Bitcoin on a hardware wallet all to yourself, and you can save yourself from that calamity, which is coming, because that's why it was created. Welcome to Crypto Tips. You're gonna get the truth here. Also, the US government will keep 100% of the Bitcoin it owns. It doesn't own it, it stole it. So yeah, let's get that straight. Next up, Bitcoin is going to the moon. Obviously, I've been saying that longer than Trump has. Probably a decade longer than Trump has. Okay, also, he says, never sell your Bitcoin. That's smart. I agree with that. I actually agree with a politician here. Sweet. Okay, Bitcoin will one day probably surpass the market cap of gold. That's probably gonna happen as well. Number two thing I'd agree with him on. Okay, he reaffirms his pledge to commute Ross Ulbricht's sentence. Absolutely, that's great. I hope he does that. I hope this politician, I'm just gonna say a politician, does what they say they're gonna do, because, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, next he says, there will never be a CBDC while I'm president of the United States. There will be a CBDC. They're gonna be working their butt off on a central bank digital currency, and President Trump has no say what the Federal Reserve, the private unelected Federal Reserve, does. Okay, if they want to come out with their CBDC, they're going to come out with a CBDC. Next, we have, he also says, Bitcoin and crypto will skyrocket like never before if elected as president. I think he's right. We are in a bull market. This is what happens during bull markets. Crypto skyrockets. Whether it's going to be the craziest bull market ever, it's definitely not the most fun bull market ever. The most fun for me was in 2012 to 2016. That was prime. That was awesome. No KYC, no governments talking about it. They all hated it. They all knew how dangerous it was. And there was a bunch of freaking people that were OGs in this space that trusted Bitcoin that is backed by math and not by lies, which all politicians are liars. He also says the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and Bitcoin the superpower of the world. First off, Trump, learn that Bitcoin is global. It's permissionless, okay? It's censorship resistant. It is immutable. And you know what? Going back to global, just because you really want it to be stored in you want the majority of Bitcoin to be in the most centralized country on the planet? Come on, guys. That means he wants it to be weak, because you know why? Bitcoin's strength lies in its decentralization, okay? And also, let's cover this really quick. Okay, 2 more things that Trump has said. Bitcoin stands for freedom, sovereignty, and independence from government coercion and control. And he also says, I pledge to the Bitcoin community that the day I take office, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, anti-crypto crusade will be over. Why the big change here? Well, because let me remind you, I did a tweet earlier today at Sir Crypto Tips. I quoted Trump back in 2021. He said, Bitcoin it just seems like a scam. And he also says, I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar. Why the big change of heart? It's because of what I said back earlier, that once BlackRock got involved with Bitcoin, the game changed, guys. The game changed. So what is happening right now? They're getting the crypto community very excited. And what I see happening is that people are going to be really excited to put their money into an ETF, essentially, to get most of the Bitcoin out of the hands from holders into BlackRock, Fidelity, and so on. They're essentially taking away a little bit of the sovereignty of Bitcoin. You can still buy and hold your own Bitcoin, and I encourage everybody to go ahead and do so. But let me end this with Nick Carter. So this guy, he had some really good things to say back in the early days. Now he's completely lost the plot, and that's fine, whatever. People kind of go off their own way, like Mike Hearn. If you know who Mike Hearn is, definitely check him out. Do some research. Okay, he says he's going to fire Gensler, end progressive wars on crypto, strategic Bitcoin reserves, clarify crypto rules within 100 days, and embrace stables for dollar dominance. Everything we could possibly ask for and more. No, back in 2009, that was everything we could have asked for and more, because that was the birth of Bitcoin, which was finally the thing that separated money from state. It took politics out of money for the first time since we've been alive. Nick Carter, read the white paper again, bro, because you've forgotten that. Also, we have Fred Krueger. I'm going to end it with this. Fred Krueger says, I rate the Trump performance as a B-. Pro, he mentioned a strategic reserve. He agreed to free Ross. He said that he would get rid of Warren and her goons. He said he would end Choke Point 2.0, and he said that he would definitely, he would defend self-custody, which is good, but he's not going to promote that very much. Cons, he kept mentioning crypto. He kept mentioning the word crypto. This is a Bitcoin maximalist. And I said underneath there, Satoshi also said the word crypto. How do you rate his performance? So yeah, that's all I have to say. Guys, the crypto space is kind of turning into a circus right now, complete joke. You're getting to see people's true colors. Most people are only interested in the price, whereas Heidi and I, the whole reason we got into Bitcoin wasn't just because of the price, but because of the sovereignty it gave us. It gave us a way out of politics, a way out of the Federal Reserve. Guys, that runs the US, that runs the world, okay? Bitcoin is your opt-out. Anyways, if you like what I have to say here, please like and subscribe, because people like me are dwindling in numbers. The real OGs in this space that understand what Bitcoin is there for, those people are kind of dying off, man. So anyways, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.